everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and I'm sorry I'm feeling a little under the weather today. However, today we are looking at the Hot Wheels Star Wars Resistance X-Wing. Now, this Incom T-70 X-Wing measures roughly about 3 inches long, and that's a nice size for the Hot Wheels ships. And it was first seen in Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Usually you could get this ship by itself. It's about $4.99. However, I was in Toys R Us, and it came in a 2-pack with the First Order transport, and I'll be looking at this ship next. So we do have a lot to cover today. We're going to look at the mold, the paint, put on a stand, compare it, and then we'll be done. So let's get started. Alright, before I begin this review, I first want to say I already reviewed this ship technically, Poe Dameron's X-Wing, so if you want to see this review, I'll put a link to that video in the description below. However, let's look at the Resistance X-Wing now. Now this ship has everything we've come to expect from an X-Wing. We have our canopy, nose cone, astromech droid, engines, which have some great detail in there. On the back, we have our engines, the S-foil mechanism in the back, laser cannons, 4 of them. Very nice. Not exactly perfectly detailed, but it does the job, I believe. For the bottom of the ship, we have our peg connector port here, a rivet, copyright crap, some nice details going on the wings and the engines, and coming down to the nose cone. Very cool. Now, I do want to bring up the wings. They are very nicely detailed. Just detail all over the place. And one cool thing is, we have a rivet on the bottom, but each wing is held in with a rivet. So that's 1, 2, and 3, 4. So altogether, it's 5 rivets holding it together. But the wings are solid, and you can see on the interior, we have some great details. So you're really getting your bang for your buck with this, even though some collectors might not think so because of the thick wings and whatnot. Now on the top, we also have that great detail. One of my favorite parts are the intakes for the engines. They look like lemon slices. But it's not too bad. Lots of nice little details. So that's about everything for the mold. So now let's take a look at the paint. When it comes to the paint on the Resistance X-Wing, I think they did a decent job. The main color is this nice off-white, and that's over the whole thing. Pretty damn cool. And then the blue I like, very nice and clean. See stripes, squares. It's also on the wings. Very cool. And on the engines, nice touch. And also on the bottom. Then we have metallic silver for the engines. The cockpit. Engines in the back. And the backs of the laser cannons. Very cool. Then we have dark gray in the center, light gray for the astromech droid, black for the cockpit windows, and then our last color is light gray, located right behind the nose cone, and also these stripes right here next to the blue ones. So that's all I have to say about the mold and the paint, so let's put this bad boy on a stand, compare it, and we'll be done for today. And just like most Hot Wheels ships, it comes with a cool stand. Peg it in the port like so. Hear that click? And you're good to go. For size comparison with the Resistance X-Wing, I have it next to Poe Dameron's X-Wing. They are basically the same exact mold, just different stands and paint. Then over here, we have the First Order transport, which comes packaged with the Resistance X-Wing. Nice model there. And finally, we have the Rebel U-Wing fighter from Rogue One. Great ships. So that does it today for my review of the Hot Wheels Star Wars Resistance X-Wing. Again, this ship is about 3 inches long, which is pretty cool, and it was first seen in Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. So what are the pros and cons of this ship? First of all, the detail. I really enjoy what Hot Wheels did here, especially with the engines and all the nice added lines and panels they put in here, especially on the wings, the interior of the wings going into where it's riveted right here, the engines, and the back of the ship. Beautiful. Second is the paint. I like the off-white they use. It matches pretty well to the ship that we see in the film. Also, the silver stands out, and that blue they use. I don't know what color it is. It's not exactly TARDIS blue from Doctor Who, but it's close. It pops on this model, and I like it a lot. And I have to say, even though I don't prefer the original stands to the Hot Wheels ships, it is nice that it came with one and it unifies it with the collection. And finally, the price. Now, usually by itself, you could get one of these ships for $4.99. However, walking around Toys R Us, I found the 2-pack of the Resistance X-Wing and the First Order Transport for a whopping $6.99. And I couldn't believe it. I jumped on it, and I'm glad I did. Now, if you're looking to buy the ship, you could get it at Walmart, Toys R Us, Target, Amazon, eBay, or other sellers. It is pretty common now, especially since they re-released it for the Last Jedi line of Hot Wheels ships. So happy hunting. Now, I recommend this ship for anybody who's a fan of the Rebellion, the Resistance, X-Wings in general. This is a nice ship. Now, it may be geared a little towards children with the thicker wings, but don't let that discourage you. It is a nice looking model. And that's basically everything I have to say about this ship. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, hit that like button. And if you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.